Story time on how my friend left me in Vegas for a pimp. So let's just start with here. First of all, I have to use my eyelash filter because my lashes look a mess. But mind your business. I'm about to put y'all in my business for about 9 minutes. All right, so it was Super Bowl weekend, and my friend hit me like, hey, let's go to Vegas. We both didn't have no plans. So I was like, okay, I'm down to go to Vegas. Mind you, I was just had a fresh breakup at the time, and I wanted to go outside. So I was like, okay, I'm down. Where we staying, what we got to put together, blah, blah, blah. So my friend was like, oh, well, I got this dude out here that I've been talking to for a minute, and he do Airbnbs, and he got hella Airbnbs, and we can stay in this Airbnb, whatever. And I'm like, oh, he don't want no money for it, but then because it's Super Bowl weekend, people were charging like a lot of money to be in Vegas during Super Bowl weekend last year. So we went, my bad. So, so I was like, well, how we getting there? You want to fly? You want to drive? Because it's only like an 8-hour drive, and that's usually what I'm used to when I go like with my family to Vegas. We'll just drive, get a road trip, whatever. It don't really matter. She like, let's drive, whatever. But then I'm like, I ain't taking my car. I ain't about to put no miles on my car just to go to Vegas. No. So I'm like, we could take a rental. So the rentals was hella high around that time. Like, they were hella expensive. So she like, let's just take my car. Mind you, she has a Tesla. So I was just like, a Tesla? That's going to be forever because we got to stop and charge. But then at the same time, I'm like, shit, I ain't trying to take my car. That's the only option. Then we got the Airbnb for free. Mind you, charging the Tesla is only like $14. It's not even that. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's just do it. So, boom. Now it's the night before we about to leave. So we trying to figure out what time we about to leave. I'm like, we might as well leave like at 9 o'clock at night because we got to stop and charge, and that's going to be way longer than 8 hours because it's not like getting gas. She like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. So we like 3 hours in on the road, whatever. And I'm asking her like questions about the dude, like where you meet this dude at, because we about to be staying at his Airbnb. And my first thing was, he not about to be there, right? Like, we gonna be able to do our thing, and like, what's tea? She like, oh girl, he's not like that at all. He has businesses and he has this and has that, like making it sound like he's a very successful man. So I'm like, period. You got you one. And that was that. So pretty much that all was cleared up, and we was just talking, gossiping. We about three hours in, like I said, on the road. Next thing the dude called her. So he called her. He like, oh, can you pick up my friend? She like, oh, who's your friend and where is your friend at? Mind you, we're 3 hours like past the bay, whatever. So he like, yeah, he and I think he was in like Manteca or Modesto. It was one of those M areas. So I'm like, we got to drive backwards. Like, we're literally going to drive backwards to go get his friend. So I'm like, do you even know the friend? My friend didn't even know the friend. So at this point, I'm like, so we're about to drive the rest of these hours in the car with a stranger. And a man at that, and we're 2 females. I just wasn't feeling it. So I was like, tell him no. Tell him he has businesses and all this stuff. Why can't he buy his friend a flight? Yet alone, why couldn't he buy us a flight? But whatever. I was just like, okay, we're not getting him. So she's looking at me all crazy, like, and being all like, you know how girls be on the phone like, yeah. But then like, they really don't talk like that. So it's like listening to your friend try to switch it all up for this dude. And it's like, so, yeah. So she's like, hold on, I'm going to call you back to him. And then she says to me, like, I really want to get him because he's already letting us stay at his Airbnb for free. And he's not charging us. But me, I'm like, that's your man. If that's your man, why is it a problem? Why are you trying to do some, you scratch my back, I scratch your back type shit? Like, so that threw me off. So, and that's what I was like, I don't get that. If it was my man wouldn't be like that. Like, it would just be like, it's all good. Yet alone, my man wouldn't even have one of his partners in the car with us, especially a partner I don't even know. Like, that's weird. So she was just like, yeah, well, it's my car. And she started trying to pull that it's my car shit. I'm like, all right, okay. So she ended up going back to go get the friend. Mind you, I'm pissed off. I just go to sleep because I'm like, whatever. So when I wake up, I think I was asleep for probably about like 2 hours. So when I wake up, the car is parked. So I'm looking around. Mind you, it's dark outside. It had to be like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. So I'm looking around. I don't know where we at. And her car is off. So I go on my maps and I see I think Manteca or Modesto, but we like parked in some apartments. So I'm looking. And from the rearview mirror, the driver rearview mirror, I see her like upstairs in the apartments, and she's carrying all this man's stuff. And I'm like, but I'm in the car, she's up there with him, so they're coming back to the car. Well, she's coming back to the car by herself. Mind you, she got so much stuff stacked up on like in her arms as she's trying to walk downstairs. Mind you, my friend was only like 4'11". Everything she was carrying had to be bigger than her. So I'm in the car looking like bonnet and all, like, she like, oh my God, he has so much stuff. And I'm like, and you're carrying all his stuff? Like, that's not even your man. You helping this dude and you doing him a favor. Like, that's not even your man. She like, oh my God, you're being so mean. Irritating. So I'm just like, whatever. So he comes to the car right after her, and he's like, oh, somebody's stuff got to get moved. Mind you, I have a big suitcase because I pack heavy. I need at least like 5 outfits for a 2-day trip, and I got to have all my hair supplies, the time I had to weave. So I need all my stuff. And I had a suitcase. My suitcase basically took up the whole back of the trunk of the Tesla, because y'all know Tesla trunks is hella small. And then her frunk, whatever it's called, the front of the truck, whatever, her stuff was in there. So his stuff, this man had a suitcase too, so he was moving on some female shit already. Like, he had a suitcase, he had like 5 pair of shoes, all that. So I'm like, damn. But I'm also like, my stuff better not get touched before I start tripping up in here, like, period, point blank. So then when he was just like, oh, whose suitcases? I said, it's mine, and it better not get touched. He was like, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, she feisty. So now it's like he started trying to like talk to me maybe in a way. So my friend texts me and she like, be nice. So I'm like, no, not being nice. No. Okay, so now a dude in the car, whatever. He in the back seat. I'm in the passenger. She in the driver. So she's driving. She's like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Da, da, da. But mind you, me and her already had everything established. Like, you know, you drive a couple hours and I'm gonna drive a couple hours. But now I feel like everything has changed because he has to drive. He's the man in the car. He needs to drive, period, point blank. So I go to sleep. So when I woke back up, it was morning. I remember it was daylight around that time. So the dude was driving now. So I look and I'm like, oh, shit, he driving. But he like driving her car, like dogging her car out, like speeding hella fast, slamming on the brakes. So come to find out, he was doing all that just to try to get my attention, to wake me up, because he was like, I need to drive and stuff like that. And he didn't have nothing to do with our plan. So I'm assuming she must have told him about our plan when I was asleep. I don't know. I was knocked out and I had my AirPods on, full blast, noise cancellation. So then I'm looking at him because he's slamming on the brakes hella hard to where we're like that. So I'm like, can you drive? Like, are you okay? Mind you, attitude on stank. He like, well, you need to drive. You need to drive. So I'm just like, no, you're fine. You're the man. You can drive. You're perfectly fine. So he's just like, I'm so tired. Da, 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 all these excuses. And she in the backseat just looking like, not saying nothing. So it got to the point where me and him like kind of start going back and forth because he keeps slamming on the brakes. And he's just like, well, you can drive then. But I'm like, no, I'm not driving. Like, I'm not doing that. So he pulled over and he just like, I'm not driving this car. I'm not driving. And it's just like, it's giving very big, if you ask me, because you just whole got picked up. Mind you, my friend was just like, oh, my man is paying for my charging, so we don't even gotta go have him charging or nothing like that. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm just like, I'm sitting in this passenger seat and nobody better not say shit to me, period. So we end up getting to the charging station and we're charging and we all fall asleep. So we fell asleep for hella long. I think we was asleep for like 2 hours at the charging station, which was crazy. So then my friend, like, she gonna drive her car. And I'm just like, shit, about time, because you have to let this man car up. So she driving hella dumb, driving hella slow. Speed limit was like, I think 75 on the highway we was on, and she going like 55. Like, they both hella irritated. So mind you, I brought my Benadryl, so I took me a Benadryl, went right back to sleep. But it got to the point to where I couldn't go to sleep anymore after a certain amount of time. So now I just kind of got my eyes closed, but I'm listening to what they're saying, and he just like, why your friend act like that? Like, why is she so mean? And my friend just like, I don't know. She really didn't want to pick you up. So now she's saying all that, but my eyes is closed because I'm also like, I want to see what else is she going to tell him, because she was just talking off the side of her neck to him.
Okay, I understand where she's coming from. She was invited on this trip. She was going to stay at home. This girl wanted her to come with her. She said everything was prepared. She even said she was going to drive. I was like, okay, I'm on your side. I'm going to show up. But adding a stranger in the car who don't want to help, who acting sassy, is like, okay, yeah, he going to have to drive because we had to go back a couple hours to get him. Of course, he should have been driving to make up for the time y'all lost. I don't agree with the Benadryls and her just staying in the passenger seat the whole time. Maybe she could have helped out. In road trips, I always help out someone. I never just sit there the entire time and do nothing. But that's just me. But yeah, she left her in Vegas because of that. I don't know. I need to find part 2 of this story because I don't want to get to the bottom of this. But I already can see the tension is high because, yeah, you're 4'11". Why are you carrying this man's bags down the stairs? Why are you catering to this guy? You're not even dating. It seems like her friend is very male forward, so that's going to be a problem. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below.